Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Renick. I'm the senior broker, the team lead with Team Renick Real Estate Services. We're part of that great Keller Williams on the Water Sarasota family serving the west coast of Florida. Let me begin by wishing everyone a happy, safe, and hopefully the best Labor Day you've ever had. As we sit back today and take a minute to reflect back on how this country was built, upon the men and the women of this country from all over the world, the hard work, the labor. That's what today's holiday is all about. And I really appreciate the folks that are part of the extended Team Renick family. Thank you. So I wanted to continue the broadcast. It's all about providing you information that you need and information that makes sense, makes a difference. So before we get into the sales data, and there is some significant great news in the data that we have to talk about this morning, I'd like to just share our approach going forward with our broadcasts. And if I can hit the right buttons here, that's not what I want to do. Not that one. There's one left. So we're going to do that way. And let me go to a full page here. Each day of the week, we want to bring information that helps make a difference to you. And when you have topics you'd like us to talk about, please feel free to reach out. So starting on Monday, it will be a week from today. We will continue with the market update, but with a strong focus on how you can leverage that information to make a difference. We'll be looking at sales, numbers, prices, inventory levels, and days on the market. I believe that all four of those factors, and many more, go into a successful real estate transaction. And I believe it's imperative that we understand those to move forward. On Tuesdays, we're going to be bringing in a mortgage broker, and we're still working on getting that solidified. But we're not going to say, here's the latest rates and here's the change from last week. We're going to talk about issues that make a difference to you. On Wednesdays, Sarasota-based real estate attorney Michael Hankin will join me, and we're going to talk about the pitfalls associated with buying and selling. What are some of the things you need to be careful so that you get the best deal possible and the smoothest transaction? Michael is a great real estate attorney with a wealth of background, and I'm excited to be sharing the spotlight with him on Wednesday mornings. On Thursdays, we're going to do something called Real Estate Straight Talk, and we've titled it Michael Takes Off the Gloves. There are things that I see as we work through deals and I travel around the area that are just wrong. And last week I shared about an instructor who gave us direction. And frankly, it was the wrong direction. That's not how you do things with your clients. So we'll be showing more examples, and we're actually hoping to take that one out on the road and be on location. Still more work on that because we have to talk about how to get the equipment out there to provide a quality broadcast. And then on Fridays, we're going to continue. That will be at 9:30 on Fridays. We're going to continue working with Mike Maillard, who's an outstanding real estate agent owner of MIC Insurance, talking about pitfalls. This coming Friday, there's significant changes happening in the flood insurance market with private versus the federal government. And we will be bringing you the latest of those in each week. So it's important to me that we deliver to you what you're looking for. And it's information designed to make a difference. Feel free to reach out to me with your comments and suggestions, and we'll go from there. Now let's take a look at, we're going to talk about area sales. And when we put up the Sarasota County chart, what we are seeing are significant increases. And here's what I want to talk about. If you look at the sales numbers, and those are in the solid green, it's 1,058. It's down from 1,223 from June. That's not the number that's important, because if we look at June last year, it was down a little bit for seasonality. So I want to talk about the numbers that make a difference, and that's really comparing to last year. Last year, the sales were 1,011. We're 1,058. So right now, our sales are up 4.6%, and that's the number that's important right there on the screen. They're up 4.6%, and that's one of the smallest increases we're going to talk about today. That's good news for both buyers and sellers, and I'll explain in a minute what I mean by that. Let's jump over to Manatee County. And we see here we have 854 that were sold during the month of July. That's the last month that the data is available. We're about to turn over into August shortly, and I'll bring that data to you just as soon as we have it. When we look at July last year, it was 742. So it's up 15.1%. Because again, the seasonality, the fluctuation doesn't matter. We're in a unique real estate market here. Whether it's out on the islands or it's on the mainland, there is a seasonal impact. 15.1% increase in Manatee County. That's huge. Longboat Key, we had 40 sales last month in July. Last year at this point, we had 35. That's up 14.3%, another double-digit increase. Great news for Longboat Key. Holmes Beach and Bradenton Beach, 28 sales in the month of July. That is up 7.7%, almost 8% over a year ago. Siesta Key, let's see what's happening down there. 47 sales, up 14.6% from last year, which was 41 sales. That is a significant increase in terms of percents. We jumped down to Venice. They had 246 sales. That is up 13.9, almost 14% from last year. We look at the city of Sarasota. We looked at Sarasota County to begin. Now we're down at the city level. 590 sales in the month of July. That's up 10%, 10.3% over last year. Bradenton, 464 sales. That's up 12.9, almost 13%. And this information is July data. The August data hasn't been published yet. But what does this mean? So those are the numbers. And again, we're going to be talking over the period of 4 weeks. The numbers of sales, prices, inventory, and how long things are staying on the market, they all impact what we do. But the good news is, for the last available data, sales are up, and they're up significantly. So if you're a buyer or seller, what does this mean? So first of all, let's take a look at the selling side. With the numbers increasing in terms of sales, is this a good time to sell your home? Absolutely. If you're thinking of putting it on the market, with the numbers increasing, and then we'll jump into pricing here next week. If the prices are sustaining or holding up in terms of with the larger sales, absolutely, it's a win-win for sellers out there. Now, what about buyers? Yes, that means there's some more competition, but it's still a great time. With the numbers as strong as they are, that says the real estate market in the west coast of Florida is also very strong. And that's a good time for buyers or sellers. Now, this is from a high level. We looked at the 2 counties, Manatee and Sarasota. We jumped down to some of the cities that we serve. But that's just the beginning. When I sit down with a seller and we talk about listing their property, we need to go actually down to their subdivision or their condo association. Same thing on a buy side. If someone's looking in Longboat Key and they're looking at condos priced under $500,000, we need to look at that market. Once we know that information, we can leverage it to our advantage. And feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to provide that information to you at no obligation. Let me see if I can bring it back on the screen. There we go. So it's all about providing you information that you need to get the best benefit from the real estate market. That's why we're here on Labor Day morning, on Monday morning. It's our commitment to you to get you the information that you're looking for. So again, feel free to reach out. My personal cell is 941-400-8735. My email address is mike@teamrenick.com. Let us know what information you need. Even if you're working with someone else, if you'd like to take a look at that, we'd be happy at no obligation to provide that. I promise you, no sales pitch, no pressure, no, none of that kind of stuff. It's all about providing for our clients or prospective clients or interested parties the information you're looking for. That's why we're here on Labor Day. Feel free to reach out. Again, I wish you the best, the safest, and the happiest Labor Day ever. If there's anything that you need moving forward, let us know. The broadcast schedule that I showed at the beginning of the show will start a week from today. I've got potential jury duties facing me midweek. I don't know what that's going to mean to my schedule, and because of that, I can't make a commitment for this week for these shows. But we will be back full-time next week, and I'm looking forward to that. And we may have some of the shows that we normally do going forward this week. It depends on jury selection. So again, I wish you folks the best. Thank you. Let me know how we can help. Take care, everybody.